passing it over to you, Chris, this morning for business education.
Yes, yeah. So normally this is for the guests that are here today, run by Jim, who's not here today because he's well, I won't ruin the announcement. I'll make sure that that's another thing we're going to be talking about later, which is quite exciting. That's come back to this year, but I'll let us talk about that in the other segment that we go for. But today, what I'm going to talk about is 3 further things we can talk about with LinkedIn profiling. This has been a series that Jim's been running, but today he's handed these 3 to me to talk about today. And one of the things that I'm not sure if you're aware of is that you can endorse others. And the strength of endorsing others is the fact that if you've used that person's services, like you do here in Referrals Over Breakfast, where we give each other testimonials, it's useful to refer, in this case, in LinkedIn's way, endorsing someone's services. So if they've been, like we've had last fortnight, we had Rory, some members mentioned some awesome work that you've done for them. That would be something that you jump onto LinkedIn and endorse him and let others know that you've used his services before. And that will then let others know that he is awesome at whatever he is doing. Okay, so this is great for our group. It'd be something I'd explore with everyone. It's something that also gives you a bit of profile that you're connected to that person. And sometimes that leads to opportunity for conversation. So just think about endorsing others when you can. Another one is requesting recommendations. This is a really fantastic way to get a bit of banter going, a bit of, it's like, you know, on Facebook when someone says, does anyone know a good plumber? If you do the same kind of thing in LinkedIn, it starts up a conversation, and this could lead to opportunity for you to do business with somebody, or that opportunity to refer someone that you know and then endorse that, again, that relationship you have. So these are some just things that you need to think about, taking what you do offline as like word of mouth and turn them into a LinkedIn environment where you can do them virtually. And the other final thing I want to talk about today is a lot of people just put into their summary a quick brief, like I guess a boring overview of their services, rather than turning it into a story and a little bit of a background on who you are and getting people to know you a little bit better. You never know, and I'll give you a good example. Was a fortnight ago, Rory, when we had that visitor come in and Paula said, I would like to talk to people who have access to football teams or local sporting clubs. And you were able to put your hand up and go, well, actually, I'm a VP of a local group and we do this and that, and I'd actually love to know more about your work, right? But that doesn't usually come up in a meeting like this. Like, it's not considered sort of the front thing in mind of the fact that that's something going to be relevant to what you do in your personal life. But in this environment, by someone asking for that, you were able to bring it up, and then all of a sudden we all learned something about you, but then the other person actually became a business opportunity for them to talk to you and you to then talk to them and do something about it. So when you're putting things into your profile on LinkedIn, consider other little things that you do, that, you know, hobbies and interests and other things that aren't just about what you do in your day-to-day, because you just never know where that conversation goes. It's not always about business. Business is actually more about relationships, as you know from being in this group today. That if you know a little bit more about each other, you just never know when someone else finds out that, I don't know, the latest, well, you know about with Shay, who's not here today. She's a footy fanatic and she loves the St Kilda football team. We're all supporting her, and if she was here today, we would have been giving commiserations to her, because we know that that's what's unfortunately unfolded over the last fortnight. And I'm sorry, Rory, you're in that bag, aren't you? So we do apologise. We really feel for you, mate. Yeah. So
thank you. Thank you.
Exactly, yeah. But I wouldn't be able to know that if we hadn't shared those kind of things, rather than just like, you know, Rory does fantastic home loans. Like, it's not really part of the criteria, but knowing that sort of breaks down some of those barriers. So think about your personal profile, what you can put in there. And if you're really struggling with that, I know an awesome copywriter and a content developer today. So there is Sarah here who can help you with these kind of things. And we have others in the room that could be beneficial in that area. So again, just to recap, endorse others, think about who you could shout out to and ask for recommendations, and think about your personal life. If there's something in that you could maybe use as a trigger to get a conversation going with someone that would like to do business with you. And there are 3 tips this week I'd love you to think about adding to your profiles and applying to your LinkedIn. And let's see what comes of it. I'd love to hear the stories about what unfolds from just asking about recommendations, endorsing, and maybe changing a few stories on your profile. So that is education this week. And I'll pass you back to Anna.